What's going on, everybody? I am beyond humbled and excited to show you this shoe. Thank you to the folks at SoleFly, the whole team. I'll get into that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the shoe, and then we're going to talk about the shoe. Let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see, we had a box. We have a special box, and you guys know I love a special box. But we have this box that is patterned after a cigar box. You'll get why it's patterned after a cigar box after I talk about a little bit. Let's go over some of the details of the cigar box, though. As you can see on the front cover, the actual slogan of the shoe, Mi Casa es su casa, which roughly or maybe literally translates into my house is your house, of course, in Spanish. A very popular term, very welcoming. That's what this shoe is all about. On either side, we have a logo with SoleFly on inside of it. Of course, on the bottom, you have Miami in Cuba, and of course, I make the connection known to you soon. Then, of course, fundada in 1985, which I can only assume means founded in 1985. So for all you Spanish speakers out there, forgive me. It's not my native language. Of course, here you have a signature of Danny Hidalgo, one of the co-founders of SoleFly. He blessed me with the signature on this particular box, and I'm so beyond thankful for this opportunity. On the front of the box, we have, again, that same logo with SoleFly in it, and of course, his green sticker. Again, this is a cigar box, so a lot of cigar boxes come taped to seal them in, and of course, here you go. Same thing on the side, as well as the Jumpman logo. Size tag reads Air Jordan 8 Retro SP, Sail Metallic Gold Fossil. Opening the top, you have a sky blue color of the inside of the box, and very cool, very unique, the actual wax paper on the inside. I'm trying to go ahead and pull it out for you right now. You will notice that this wax paper is very reminiscent of Spanish tiles. Now, these tiles are all over Miami. My wife and I had the pleasure of traveling to Miami back in our younger days. We stayed at many hotels in Miami, and especially ones that were built in the 1950s and 60s. These tiles are everywhere in a multitude of colors. Very cool, very reminiscent of Cuba. More on that later. And lastly, on the inside of the box, we actually have a big C, which obviously stands for Cuba, as well as the island country of Cuba outline itself. Very, very nice touch. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, I am beyond pleased. And I mean, I'm so proud to be able to present to you the Air Jordan 8 Mi Casa es su casa SoleFly. There's a lot that goes into the shoe, but like I say, first we'll talk about the shoe and then we'll talk about the shoe. Let's get into it. On the bottom, we have the standard Air Jordan 8 bottom, except we have a little bit like a wash colorway. The blue's kind of rubbed off and faded, which is a nice touch. I do think that's intentional, so very, very cool. Of course, we have the blue and white, then on the middle. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, when Tinker Hatfield actually designed this shoe, he did it with 90s pop culture in mind. So try to remember what the early 90s was exactly like. There was a lot of cross colors, a lot of hip hop. It was very urban. So there was a lot of Art Deco kind of things inspired by the shoe. And this kind of little splash here on the bottom is inspired by that. So SoleFly keeps the same motif, but uses blue, white, and red as their main color choices. Flipping the shoe up, again, on the midsole, you have that kind of funky design pattern, again, inspired by the 90s. The shoe came out in 1993 originally, and MJ won his third title. And as you can see, you had these abstract shapes on the actual midsole. As aforementioned, that same kind of pattern is up here on the side, on the lateral and medial side of the shoe. And after that is where the real beauty of the shoe shines through. You either have a short hair suede or a nubuck, but whatever it is beautiful. It's very nice to the touch, and it has this kind of fossil colorway to it. Very, very nice. Now here on the lateral side of the shoe, right underneath the straps, you have a design cue taken from another actual Nike product. Now typically on your standard Jordan 8, right here on the strap window, you have the same materials on the toe, on the straps, and everywhere else. However, on the SoleFly, on the strap window, you had this mesh knit material, which is reminiscent of the Diamond Turf, the Deion Sanders-inspired baseball shoe that came out way back when. So in another nod to its Cuban-inspired heritage, the gold buckles on the straps are actually inspired by Cuban links. So if you guys watch just a little bit of baseball, you know that Spanish players, in particular Cubans, Dominicans, are very good at baseball, and they play a lot of it. I mean, they're just damn good. They dominate the league. But a staple of a lot of those players are the Cuban link gold chains they wear around their necks. And of course, this is where the inspiration comes for these buckles. Coming up to the tongue, that Chanel patch. As you can see, there's that furry patch in a red, white, and blue colorway for the Cuban flag. It's actually inspired by the Cuban colorway. As I mentioned, this circle is actually meant to be inspired by a peace symbol. As you can remember, a lot of times folks was wearing peace symbols around their neck, and it had this kind of design. So when Tinker, again, made this shoe with urban pop culture, he put the peace symbol with the Jordan brand logo in the middle of it. Here, same thing, except substituted again with the red, white, and blue of the Cuban flag. On the medial side of the strap window, it is just this mesh material, not the knit mesh or whatever this material is right here. But again, very nice contrasting of the materials. That's what makes this shoe so special. Undoing the straps, as you can see on top of the straps on the right shoe, you have the number 23, which is standard for every Air Jordan 8. But then on the left shoe, you have that beautiful co-branding with SF, which of course stands for SoleFly. And speaking of straps, once you undo the straps, of course you have the call sign for the shoe again, Mi Casa, Su Casa. My house, your house. Of course, the actual securing part, the Velcro strap, does still say Air Jordan on both shoes. Beggars cannot be choosers. The only thing that would maybe take the shoe up one more notch would be a lace swap option. Now here again, you have the sail colored lace, perfect as is. I mean, trust me, I just like options, but again, this shoe is beautiful and amazing in hand. This one, perfect color lace. Of course, the interior sock liner is that red colorway, perfect color choice for this contrast. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe this actually is designed off of the Huarache. Now, of course, this is a Huarache run, but as you can see, it's kind of like a sock. And I believe this actually debuted on the Jordan 7 as far as the Jordan brand silhouettes are concerned first. And I believe some of that carried over to the Air Jordan 8. As you can see, we have a pull tab, a little bit of a kind of stock padding back here that goes with the rest of the insole. So very nice touch. Again, I love the Jordan 8 for this reason. And finally, as far as your shoe is concerned, pulling out the insoles, you can see that the actual tile pattern that's on the paper is on the insole as well. And of course, co-branding, Jumpman and SoleFly. Very, very nice. Completes the shoe, gives it that collaboration feel. Love it, love it, love it. That's pretty much it for the shoe. Now, as far as SoleFly is concerned, it is a Miami-based boutique currently owned and operated by co-founders Danny Hidalgo and Carlos Prieto. For a little bit of insight, of course, Carlos Prieto is the brother of Yvette Prieto, of course, who is Michael Jordan's now current wife. So there's the SoleFly connection. I mean, right to MJ himself. But SoleFly as a whole has been putting out banger after banger of collabs. As you guys know, I just started collecting within the last 4 years or so I didn't really get into the entire SoleFly catalog. But I do happen to have the SoleFly 13s, which I think are a beautiful shoe. Now, SoleFly actually has two Jordan 2 highs, one Jordan 1 low, a Jordan 10, I believe a Jordan 17, and I'm probably missing something else. But SoleFly has some very, very nice shoes. I do anticipate trying to grab some more shoes. I am definitely going to grab the Jordan 10 and probably the Jordan 1 low within the next maybe 6 months or so. And if I'm really a good boy, I may get the Jordan 1 with the green and orange as well as the 17. But, you know, we'll see later. Either way, I definitely appreciate SoleFly for going after a lesser light silhouette. The Jordan 8 is not everyone's cup of tea. As a matter of fact, I only own a couple of them myself. It is a big, bulky, heavy shoe, but again, they did them justice with this design, and it could not be better and more perfect for the theme of the shoe. Cuban Heritage, welcoming people into the Cuban Spanish lifestyle. So I will say, as far as fitment is concerned, this is my true size 10 and a half. So it did fit pretty snugly, but of course you have all this padding in the shoe. I don't think you need to go half a size up. I actually prefer a snugger shoe. I don't like my foot flopping around the side of the shoe, so this works for me. Now, as far as availability is concerned, that I'm not quite sure. This shoe will be available for $225 on December 8th, this coming Friday, at SoleFly's website. I anticipate, but I'm not 100% positive, if this shoe is going to launch on the sneakers app. When the Jordan 13 first came out, it was only available at select boutiques, including SoleFly. But then a couple of weeks later, if I'm not mistaken, this shoe also did drop on the sneakers app. So maybe the same thing here, but listen, don't hold my feet to the fire about that one. I am not sure. I have not checked the prices in a while, but I don't think this shoe is too high on the aftermarket. So if you want to shore all bets, it may be a good opportunity now to buy, but listen, your money, I don't pocket watch. I'm just thankful I didn't have to go that route. Again, thank you to the good folks at SoleFly, Carlos, Danny, much appreciated. That's pretty much all I have to say regarding the SoleFly Air Jordan 8. One of the best releases this year. This should definitely have cracked the top 10. That's kind of the reason why I don't like doing top 10s until much later in the year, like maybe after this shoe. But all that being said, guys, this has been the Air Jordan 8 SoleFly Mi Casa Su Casa. Go ahead and check the on foot right after this video. And don't forget, I'm doing a giveaway for a pair of Run the Jewel Dunk Highs. So check that video out for instructions. And until the next one, guys, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I think I got maybe one more video on the way. Stay tuned. Until the next one, I am out of here. God, it's smell. Oh, the original cut. There it absolutely is. I might like it better than the 2020 version. Those only like it. And I had to have